welcome to this week's episode of Blue Ice Talks. I'm Blue, and I like to talk about figure skating. Happy New Year, everyone! In today's video, I'm going to be doing predictions for what I think will happen during the year 2025 in figure skating. I would love to see your own predictions in the comments, and you're welcome to laugh at me when I am inevitably wrong about at least one. My first prediction is that Team Eteri Tutberidze or Team Sambo 70 will have an online argument with Team Evgeny Plushenko or Team Angels of Plushenko. Someone within each of the coaching teams will start an argument, and I think it will be around the time that the female skater for Russia will be chosen to go to the Olympic spot qualifying competition in China. The two coaches have already had arguments in the past, and you can tell that there is always tension brimming under the surface. I think it's only a matter of time until there's another argument between their coaching teams. I also think these two teams will argue because both of them are involved in some way in the rules. So for skaters to be able to compete for Russia, they have to have had no affiliation with the war in Ukraine. They have to have no affiliation with the pro-war rhetoric that Evgeny Plushenko's shows have had, but they also cannot have any association with doping, which could mean they can't have any association with Eteri Tutberidze. We're yet to see exactly how these rules will be implemented. So I think the two coaching teams will start arguing, and inevitably these two will drag each other, going from stolen champions, stolen skaters, to, well, your skaters can't compete because of XYZ, or your skaters can't compete because of XYZ. I think it will devolve into some kind of argument on Instagram, just like it did last time. If there is an argument between them or any of the coaches within each group, I truly hope that the skaters themselves are not involved. My second prediction is about who I think will become the next world champions. I think barring an absolute disaster and lots of falls, Ilya Malinin will repeat his feat from last season and will become a two-time world champion. I think that, again, barring a disaster, Kaori Sakamoto will repeat her title and become the first woman since Carol Hayes in the 1960s to get a four-peat, so 4 world titles in a row. I think that Riku Miura and Ryoichi Kihara from Japan can absolutely regain their world title in pairs. Potentially, Minerva Fabian Haas and Nikita Volodin might win, but at the moment, I'm saying Riku Miura and Ryoichi Kihara. And in ice dance, I think Madison Chock and Evan Bates are a lock. The World Championships are in Boston after all, and ice dance is very much political. Skating is of course unpredictable, and so after the Boston World Championships, depending on how wrong I am, you can all point it out to me. My third prediction is that in 2025 we will see our first competitive attempt at a quintuple jump. There have been some videos of novices from Russia in training doing quintuple jumps, but so far I don't believe anyone has tried one in competition. The ISU has now given base values to quintuple jumps. I did make a video about this a few months back, and so skaters are more incentivized now to try them, whereas before they would get no credit. The two skaters that I think are most likely to attempt and land one successfully are Ilya Malinin and Margarita Bezluk. Ilya Malinin has landed all 6 quadruple jumps and is known for kind of doing wild jumps and things, since he's now integrated a backflip into his program and the upgraded version of the Raspberry Twist. For those who don't know, Margarita Bezluk is the 2024 Russian junior champion, and she came first at the Russian Jumping Figure Skating Championships in 2024. So because she's a jumper, I think she very well could attempt a quintuple jump. I expressed most of my views about quintuple jumps in my last video about them, but I hope that no one actually does one, and I hope I'm wrong about this prediction. If someone were to do a quintuple jump, I would assume it would be one of these two people. My fourth prediction is that there will be some romance-related ice dance drama. So it's fairly well known at this point that ice dancers are often in relationships with their partner or another ice dancer who's partnered with someone else, to the point where it's almost a joke. Earlier on in the season, some fans exposed some ice dancers in the US where marrying for citizenship is potentially a concern. In ice dance and also pairs, there have been chops and changes where people have skated together, got into relationships, split up, but kept skating with that person while dating another either ice dancer or pairs skater. One example of this is Madison Hubble and Zach Donahue. They were dating, they broke up, and then Madison got with Adrian Diaz, who was skating with Olivia Smart at the time. I truly think that there will be some kind of ice dance relationship drama, especially with the pressure of the Olympic season coming up. And then my prediction number 5, my last prediction, is that we will see a significant coaching change from someone very prominent. I'm not entirely sure who, and I'm not sure who they'll be moving from or to, but I'm almost convinced that before the Olympic season, some skaters will chop and change to try and better their chances of winning. And no, my prediction isn't that some skater somewhere will change coaches at some point in the year, because someone's going to change coaches. That's inevitable. My prediction is that it will be a prominent skater, a big skater who has a dramatic change in coaches, maybe to the level of Evgenia Medvedeva after the Pyeongchang Olympics, where she moved from Team Sambo 70 to the Toronto Cricket, Curling and Skating Club in Canada. Do I have any idea who it will be? No. I would hazard a guess that it would be in women's skating or men's skating, but I'm not entirely sure. It could very well be someone moving to the Ice Academy of Montreal to try and better their chances in ice dance. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you've had a good holiday and a lovely new year. Thank you again, and if you have any topics you'd like me to cover, please do let me know in the comments or on social media. My card with my links is in the description. I'd love to see your predictions, and you have my full blessing when I inevitably get something wrong to point it out to me later on in the year. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!